Hello, Orville Nation. How are you guys? Hey, Steph. Hey, Alicia. Hey, MacGyver. Hey, Joe. Hey, Marlena. Who else is in here? Adega. There's a few other people in here as well. I don't see your names, but let me get rid of my echo. Who else is in here? Adega. Okay. Hey guys, we have an awesome all-femme panel tonight with Rose, Raquel, Katie, our co-host, and a few other stragglers who will be straggling in soon. Welcome, everybody. Raquel.
Thank you.
Katie, our co-host, and a few other stragglers who will be straggling in soon. I think. Do you? I think we're getting an echo from somebody. So you might want to put in. Does everybody have in headphones?
I'm switching to headphones now, just because I just heard the echo. Want to be?
Yeah, so that'll fix it. Yeah. You might want to put in. Does everybody have in headphones? Yeah, that'll fix it.
These are the wrong headphones for this device, I think. Are they?
I had the same thing a few times ago. I got the wrong input for my computer. I bolted it back to work. I was like, oh my gosh, I got to get the right ones. And I got them. And now they live at home with me.
Smart. You know what? I'm going to put it back to work. What are they?
Oh, wow. Does my voice really sound like that? Oh, okay. See, it's funny. I don't watch myself. And it's so strange to hear my voice. Oh, I think everyone has that reaction.
When I was in high school, I went to an arts high school, and in the computer lab course where we were learning to make websites, my teacher kept playing back the DVDs of the DVDs that they were making of our school performances. And she's like, Rose, look at yourself. Look how great you did. It's like, nope. I do not want to watch any of this. Turn it off immediately. Stop. Miss Fanny, you are the worst. Turn it off now.
Hello, Kathia. Welcome. Can you hear us okay?
Maybe.
Okay, man. I'm not.
She might
Maybe she's
like
getting set up.
I'm not sure what's going on, but I have terrible signal.
Oh no! But we can hear you.
I can't understand anything you guys are saying. It's all digitalized.
Why don't you go out and come back in? Go out and come back in.
The classic tech fix. Turn it off and turn it back.
This wouldn't happen if we were on the Orville. I'm just saying that now.
It might though.
Okay,
it might
we'll
though. They just had an
go out.
instance. Like the season ended with that instance.
Go out and come back in.
Plus, if Bortus's program is still running on the sub-processors,
oh my god!
might still have some issues.
That was hinky. So
I watched that episode for the first time in an airport, and when that popped up on the screen, I can tell you, I almost broke my laptop, slapping it down so fast. I was like, no one needs to see this. I was so high-strung for the rest of that trip. Like, if someone saw that on my laptop and didn't know what the show was, what would they think?
porn viruses, all times, all universes, they're gonna get us. They're going to get us.
Nice to know that it exists in the future as well. It's just way more advanced.
Oh my god, and life-threatening.
Let me ask all of you, as we were talking before, what do you most love about the Orville, Rose? What do you most love about the Orville?
Well, as I mentioned before, grew up under a rock shaped like Bill Murray. And if you're familiar with his work, there's like great philosophy, great humor, and just the timing of it and how real everything is. And the Orville, like if Bill Murray were to have a sci-fi show, I feel like it would be something along the lines of the Orville. It's just completely right up my alley.
Yeah, I totally. Raquel, what about you? What do you most love about the Orville?
Have we lost Raquel?
Can you hear us? Can you hear us, Raquel?
I'm a huge Trekkie.
I think we're on a delay.
Oh,
and so I think it's the ultimate homage. I can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a delay.
Oh, no.
Go ahead, Raquel.
Yeah. A big one.
Yeah. Actually, Raquel, why don't you go out and come back in, because that'll fix it.
Yeah.
I think it's a really big delay.
Yeah, huge delay here. I'm not sure why. Maybe I'll log out and log back in. But yeah, I'm a massive Trekkie.
Okay.
Okay.
Friggin'
But
technology,
this is
man.
teamwork, though. This is good quality teamwork.
Yeah. Katie, our storm chasing meteorologist, what about you? What do you love about the Orville? And show us, before you answer, show us your wall again so we can
Oh,
see it.
yes. There we go. This actually has been up since I moved in here. Totally not planned, but it works very well. But yeah, I think what's so great about the Orville is how, well, it's really twofold. It merges every single great sci-fi show and takes what all is great about them and puts it into one thing. You have the main conflicts of Star Trek that make you think. You have the adventure of Star Wars. You have the humor of Doctor Who. It's all put in together. And on top of that, it's just relatable. You look at, say, Star Trek and you think, okay, you'd have to go to an academy, it'd be fine. And then you go and look at the Orville and you see Yaphet and you're like, I can sign up whenever. Like, you can just feel like you could actually be a part of the crew without going through a couple hundred years worth of technological advances. It's just so incredibly relatable and so much fun.
And that is true. It is very relatable. And I'm loving all their off hours, and we'll get to that question later. All the off hours that Seth has introduced into the scenes. Kathia, if you can hear us, what do you most love about the Orville? I know Kathia has a lot to say. Well, hopefully we're going to hear
Unmute the
her.
mic. It says my screen says her mic has been muted.
There we go.
Yeah. There you go. What do you most love about the Orville, Kathia?
Yeah, I've done these before. Thor is outside. So if y'all lose, I mean, why? I went out and I came back in, and then thunder rolled.
That's me.
So
just saying hi.
So Thor's has got some something going on outside.
Here, I'll take care of that for you. There we go.
Coming to check on me. Well, okay, so what I love best about the Orville, what I love best about this, and it's Kermit on Ed's desk. That says everything you need to know about the show.
Yeah.
There is something special about a captain who keeps Kermit front and center on his deck.
Oh yeah. No, that's when introducing the show to people who haven't seen it, and they look and they say, "Is that Kermit the Frog?" That kind of hooks them.
I'm a captain, and I have Kermit on my desk.
I have.
Well, you know, I saw that in the first episode. Was it the first episode? Yeah, I saw that, and I immediately wanted to watch the show no matter what, because I have Kermit on my desk too.
So you were before
I just felt,
Orville.
like a kinship with Ed because of it.
That is awesome.
Holy Christmas.
I just want to say hello to Captain Spire, to Alicia, Philip Gaming, Philip, our Orville actor friend, Stephanie. Stephanie Page, Little Page, is putting in the GoFundMe link for. Oh, that's awesome.
That's
Joe's
my Kermit desk item.
Nice.
So Stephanie's putting in the GoFundMe link for Captain Robert, and as you all might know, Captain Robert has been in a homeless situation for quite some time, and he is finally going to get VA housing, and that GoFundMe is to just help him get that VA housing. So anybody who is able to contribute, go click on the link that our wrench Stephanie is putting out there. Thanks, Stephanie.
Awesome.
So I guess we'll get Raquel back in a little while. She's not back yet, and which is gonna is going to put off my next question, because my next question I wanted Raquel to be there for the next question. But you know what? I'm going to ask it anyway. We'll ask her when she comes back in. So, what is which one, or how many of you are cosplayers for Orville or Trackers?
Yes.
And if anybody hasn't seen what Katie does in her off time at the if you haven't seen what Katie does in her off time at work, she gives us Starfleet weather. How would you say it? Starfleet weather? prediction?
Starfleet weather away mission forecasts.
Thank you. Forecast.
Yeah. No, I've done. I actually have a new fandom forecast coming out tonight in about an hour. And I kind of teased it a little bit. It's you guys are going to hear it first here. It's a Survivor fandom forecast. The CBS show Survivor. I'm a huge fan. I've wanted to be on the show since I was little. And needless to say, when you say, do you cosplay? I cosplayed as Jeff Probst while making this, and it was incredible. So I can't wait for you guys to see that. But I do have the Star Trek one, Star Wars one. I'm doing an Orville one. I just have to get my hands on the costume.
Whoa.
Wow.
Well done. I've never cosplayed. The closest I come is I made my own Ghostbusters jumpsuit.
Nice.
5 years ago, and that
Cool.
is forever my Halloween costume, or if I need to do something sci-fi, except one sci-fi event. They did this thing at not the Smithsonian, the one in the big fancy museum in Philadelphia. I can't remember the name of. I'm drawing a blank, but my sister got us tickets because they were doing this special thing that was combining Star Wars and Star Trek and seeing this is what's going on in the thing. How does it line up with science? And she got me a Wrath of Khan shirt that had the broken emblem. And then around the hemline of it, it says Khan with all the A's.
Nice.
And that's there's a picture of that somewhere of us with oven mitts trying to play with Legos. So that's the closest I've ever come to cosplay is that Khan shirt.
That's awesome though. Did you make you said you made your Ghostbusters costume.
Yeah.
Did you make it from scratch?
No, I went hunting for a vintage khaki woman's jumper.
Nice.
And then through the Ghostbusters fan gear website, I got a patch that has my name. And I got the Ghostbusters patch in this, so they ironed on. So it's great.
Totally from scratch. That is awesome.
It doesn't feel from scratch when you're sourcing pieces.
So cool. Hey, that's what I do. There's like 3 different Goodwills in my town, and they know me there for the weirdest reasons. So walking, I'm like, do you guys have
For
a
the
leather
best
coat that's
reason.
this color? Yeah.
That's awesome. Wow, Rose. Raquel, I really wanted to ask you, and for this question, because I know that you're really good at this. Can you tell us about your cosplaying?
Well, first, let's do a mic check. Can you hear me?
Yep. You're good.
And there's no delay.
Yeah, it's funny because there was actually, I logged out and logged back in 4 times on my laptop, on my computer, and now you're on my phone.
Well, that's perfect.
Okay, terrific. I'm sorry, could you restate the question?
I was asking them which one of them were involved in cosplaying, and I know you are, so I wanted you to tell us about your cosplay.
Yeah, I cosplay here in Edmonton, and I do mostly the original series. So I do an Andorian. I do
cool.
I do Khan. And I do the Vulcan. I do have the Alea probe set up. I've had it planned for over a year. I've been planning it.
Wow.
But I that's on hold right now because it's very, very difficult to get my hair underneath a bald cap. As some of you may know, Parasis actually shaved her head for the film. And so replicating that without shaving my own head is difficult. So I'm working around that and trying to devise a strategy for how to do that and make it look realistic.
That is definitely a challenge. When I'm not working, I have straight hair when I work at the station, but I have very curly Greek hair. And so I'm using wigs for cosplays, and that's one thing that I've been struggling with. But I have to ask, the Andorian cosplay, do you go full blue face paint, blue everything, and does it stay on?
Well, yeah, actually, when I was younger, my sister wanted to go to school to become an esthetician. So she said, I can't go without you. I'm a little bit, shy. So will you come with me? So I went and became a makeup artist. So,
That is so
very
awesome.
cool.
if you'd like to see my Andorian cosplay, it's actually on Twitter and on my profile, and it's also on Instagram.
Heck yeah, I'm looking that up right now.
Can I share that picture,
Please
Raquel?
hold.
Oh yeah, certainly. You can
yeah.
share any pictures from my Twitter are fair game. They're in the public domain, and I don't mind sharing them.
Awesome.
Let me see. It's in the. Where is it? It's in the.
It's in media.
Okay. Oh, in media. Okay.
Yeah. So yes, I go and I get makeup, and I handmade my antennae. My husband is a works artist here in Alberta, and he taught me how to do paper clay. So I made my antennae based on paper clay, and then we worked together. He's a machinist, and he does programming engineering. So he actually developed the Elia probe communicator for my throat as well.
That is so cool.
Yeah, really cool. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I want to be at that level.
Well, if I can offer any advice, the best thing to do is to choose something that you really, truly love. Develop it for about a year. Don't be frustrated if the first time you try it, it looks terrible and it doesn't reach your expectations. You can just pull it all off and go to the con anyway. And then the next time you come back, you will have learned so many lessons, and you will be so stoked, and you won't be so tired. I mean, it can be very tiring putting makeup on for 3 or 4 hours, right?
Ooh,
So
yeah.
don't lose faith.
Yeah. No, yeah, makeup is not my forte. So I've probably, between trying to get my cosplays to look so accurate, I've learned very valuable lessons in that. One, you don't try to cut a Christmas ornament with a kitchen knife. And two, powder, makeup powder can very much burn your eyes if you don't close them.
Yes.
Oh, no.
So there's lessons to be learned all over.
So what cosplay interests you?
Oh gosh, I kind of do everything. I'm looking at my shelves with all my pop vinyls from every fandom, and I've probably cosplayed a lot of them. I've recently gotten into the new DuckTales reboot. If any of you watched the original DuckTales, and that's incredible.
DuckTales been rebooted. Note to self: when did I miss this?
Oh my gosh, it's incredible because it's basically fans of the original show making the show again. David Tennant voices Scrooge McDuck. He's the first Scotsman to ever voice.
Fuck
exactly,
yes.
Exactly. But yeah,
I'm
it's
sorry,
on Disney Plus.
not safe for the workplace.
Do it. But no, I cosplayed Della Duck, and I got a giant Christmas ornament from Hallmark, or not Hallmark, Hobby Lobby, and I went to cut the leg hole because she has a prosthetic leg. Spoilers. But I went to cut it, and the knife sliced through my finger, and now I have a really awesome scar and a medical bill. But no, I've gotten into DuckTales, Star Trek, the Orville. I'm thinking maybe Avatar: The Last Airbender. All things.
Wonderful.
Wow. Let me listen. Tell us. Let me just say hi to
Are we still talking
Adega.
about cosplay?
Adega,
lost.
Ryan, Captain Spire. Yeah, Kathia. I want to ask Kathia what about cosplay? Are you involved in? Are you involved in that or not?
Oh, I think you're muted again.
Let's see.
I just let everyone know that I'm Midwestern. I said "ope."
Oh.
Yes,
Kathia?
I have to unmute it. Otherwise, the sound is confused. And anyway, yeah, I'm trying to hear. I'm trying. Okay, so I was very heavy into cosplay. I can do everything. I even had my own business. I can make wigs. I can do hair. I can dye hair. I can do nails. I can do shoes. I can do anything cosplay that you want me to, except foam. That's my weakness. I can't do like armor and stuff. But my concentration was in anime. So I was really heavy duty into that, and I had a sewing room, and I had everything, man. I did jewelry, beading. I mean, I did historical stuff. You name it, I was in it, and I had to give it up. So I'm probably I'm level 1 in just about everything.
That sounds incredible, though.
God, that sounds like fun.
I know, right? Being able to make your own wigs, that would save so much time and money.
Holy
well, not time, but money.
I just remembered another cosplay I did, sort of. When they were doing the Million Muppet March and it became the Million Puppet March, we talked our dad into participating with my mom, my sister, and I by telling him we would dress as doozers. Like, that was the only Muppet he was willing to dress as, was doozers, because doozers get shit done. Was his they're productive. But I remember we got sweats and we dyed them green. I wore my green cowboy boots because I was Cotter Pin Doozer, and she's the only one who doesn't wear shoes, so I needed to make my feet green. And then I crocheted my own Cotter Pin Doozer wig. I made I made a green cap, and then I just crocheted out these chains of the orange to be her straggly hair.
That is so awesome. That is impressive. Crocheting I've not gotten into, and I don't think I will. I don't have that kind of coordination.
I can't knit. I cannot knit. This is a thing between another sister and I, where she says crocheting is lame, but I knit once for like 5 glorious minutes. I was just knitting for 5 minutes straight. It was fantastic. And then I went to the bathroom, and when I came back and I picked it up, I could not remember for the life of me how the hell it worked. And my grandmother had just showed me, and she tried to show me again, and it was gone. Just my capacity to hold it in. I was like, I can calculate like the 719 times the second hand practice the hour hand over the course of 12 hours, but I can't knit
either, so you're not the only one.
Oh, man. Well, I'm glad we're all in similar company when it comes to knitting. How about you, PJ? Can you knit?
No,
There we go.
I can't knit, but
Team no knit.
I will confess that I think when I was younger in school, I think we were obligated to try it in art class. So,
nice.
I was going to ask Raquel to explain the picture we had put up, but we had lost her. So we'll see when we get her back.
No.
Fingers crossed.
And so let me ask you all another question. What was did you start watching the Orville at the beginning from season 1, or how did you feel when the Orville was premiered? Were you automatically hooked? And let me start this question with Kathia.
Season 1, episode 1, I was there at the TV. Season 1, episode 1, I was glued right there. I was waiting. I was waiting for the Orville because I saw a preview of it, and I announced to the whole room that that night, and I would punch anybody who was going to argue with me. Mainly because I was in a show hole for Star Trek, and I really wanted to. I wanted to fill that, and so I was to
Oh, I can't hear you. I'm not hearing you.
I think it might have maybe lightning struck nearby. Well, I'll go off of
this isn't Thor. This is Loki doing
it's so true.
Pretending to be Thor just to
it is so Loki.
I'll go off of her note though, in that I was there from the first episode, and I told my family, I said, you guys, we got to watch this. And my dad is the one who got me into Star Trek. My brother and my mom weren't really into it. Mom's not really into sci-fi. We all started watching the Orville, and we all watch it now. Like, it's incredible. My mom's not really a Star Trek fan, and she's like, oh yeah, when's the next Orville episode? And it's so great being there from the beginning and now waiting in the lull, and now we're down to 3.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I came to it slightly late because I'm also very late to the trekking. I'm not done with the trekking yet. I'm working my way through everything chronologically.
Ooh, what are you on?
Well, right now I'm finishing because I'm blogging my way through. And I put the blog posts out on the anniversary dates of the episodes. So right now I have to finish catching up on supplemental logs so then I can finish TAS.
Nice.
And so I'm doing that. And so my sister's like, Rose, you need to watch the Orville. You need to watch the Orville because she watches all of the shows. It's her industry to just watch shows.
Nice.
And lucky jerk.
That's a dream.
Right? And so that's what she does. She watches everything, and then she tells everyone in the family what each of us need to be watching. And we're like, okay, clam it. But then she's right. She's always right.
DuckTales.
And we love DuckTales. We love Darkwing Duck. She met Pierce Brosnan once and was wearing a Darkwing Duck t-shirt when she did, and he asked her about it, and like for a minute there she was almost full on snarky with him. It was like, I can't believe you haven't heard of this American legend, but she had to be polite because it was like a work thing that she was interacting with him with, so she was nice.
Oh man.
But she wanted to give him a hard time.
You're gonna love the new series, but keep going.
Yeah. So she told me I needed to watch the Orville because she knows I'm trekking, and our family really likes Galaxy Quest, and it has been called by some one of the best Star Trek movies. And she's like, you love Galaxy Quest, you're going to love the Orville, just watch it. It's like, I have so much catching up to do. Like, I just went through this whole thing with Chekhov. I'm really worried about Chekhov. No, you've called me in the middle of an episode. I'm hanging up on you now was the issue. So I went and I finished that. And then I started watching the Orville. I was like, she did not make the proper argument for this, because this is Bill Murray in space, but somehow missing Bill Murray. That was the argument she should have made, so that because I saw the trailer for it and I wanted to watch it. It's like priorities, viewing. So I couldn't.
Well, I feel that.
Late to all the things, always.
So you haven't seen Voyager yet?
I've seen some of it.
Okay.
When so my trekking started in 2013. Yes. No.
Nice.
2012.
Nice.
I have it written down somewhere. It started after I saw the first of the reboot movies. I was like, I need to watch the original series because I want to make sure I didn't miss any of the jokes in this movie that are like Easter egged in here. So I watched the original series. In like the second episode, they mention a sonnet, and I was like, that's it. I'm going to blog my way through, and I'm going to write sonnets as I go, and that's how this is going to go down, so I can stay committed to watching this. So I did the original series, and then for the 50th anniversary, I started my website, and I decided,
Tell us about your website, Rose. Tell us about your
I
website.
see it right there.
So the penrosetrekkie.com is where I blog my way through all of Star Trek, and I write Pushkin sonnets as I go, which is the Russian sonnet form, is my nod to Chekhov since he isn't in the first season of the original series. And so I blogged my way through that. And then when the 50th anniversary came up, I started the actual website and had grand designs that now I have to actually stepstone my way towards. But my big idea when I launched the penrosetrekkie.com to put everything to go out on its 50th anniversary date was to, while the original series is posting on its 50th anniversary dates, blog through all of the other series simultaneously. So I've seen several episodes of every single series. I got very grumpy trying to do that.
I bet.
Very grumpy. I was very annoyed with the opening credits for Enterprise, and then was thrilled when I found that button on Netflix that lets you skip the opening credits.
Now, see, I started listening to it so
Let me just say hi to Drew, Katie. Let me just say hi to Drew from Bounding into Comics.
Hi, Drew.
Hello,
hey guys,
neighbor.
what's up?
ahead.
So I actually put out a tweet that after we get done, Kate will appreciate it because I retweeted out the radar picture from Channel 3 over here because I put out a tweet that says, for all you people that don't know what living by Lake Erie in winter's like, here you go. We got a huge cold front moving in.
Nice.
Bunch of snow.
How much snow are you guys expecting to get?
3 to 6.
Okay, I know the Michigan's expecting anywhere from 3 to 6, 4 to 6 mostly. So you guys are so lucky. It's sunny here, and I'm bored out of my mind.
Well, you come over this way and play in the snow all you like.
Yeah, well, it's funny because it's National Weather Person's Day, and they have no weather to speak of.
Hey,
So
you know
everyone's
what?
having fun.
Hey, you know what?
I forgot about that.
You're my pal. You're my favorite weather person.
Happy
I don't care
Tuesday,
what-
meteorologist Katie. Happy
Well,
Tuesday.
thank you.
Yeah, this is your day, girl.
I feel like I should have a cake or something, but
So I'm really glad I got the impromptu appearance because it's so nice to meet a bunch of beautiful and talented ladies. It's a true pleasure. I am Drew Taylor from Bounding into Comics.
And awesome, Drew. Thanks for joining us. Raquel, we got you back, and Kathia too.
Yeah, I'm here.
Woo!
Hope you can hear me.
Awesome. Listen, I just wanted before we lost you. I was about to ask you to if you wanted to explain that picture, and I'll put it back up.
Okay.
Is
Is it the Andorian one or is it the?
This is Vulcan, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's incredible. You got the eyebrows down
That looks
so
impressive.
well.
That's perfect.
So
Well, thank
good.
you. Thank you so much.
That
You
looks
guys.
professional.
Thank you so much, you guys. So, what are your questions? Would you like me to explain how this happens and quickly run through it so that other people
please
can
do.
learn how to do it?
Please do.
Okay, well, the first thing you want to do is you want to secure a really good pair of ears. Now, I don't really have any recommendations on this because different people have different shaped ears, and there are a lot available. Also, in Star Trek canon, ears are always different for Vulcans. Even Leonard Nimoy had different ears at different times, so the tips don't really matter. Just don't go too hog wild and do elvish ears. You can get the ones that just go over the top of your ear and you don't have to blend them in. You can use a little bit of spirit gum to seal them around, and they'll usually run you about $20 to $30 Canadian. I do have the pair that I'm wearing there in that photo are, I think, $70 Canadian. I bought them from the FX warehouse, I think. They're the foam ones that are like prosthetic quality or whatever.
Wow.
So that's that. The wig is super cheap. I mean, you can get it anywhere and you can cut it for yourself. It's very good, regardless how much hair you have, to always make sure that you're wearing a net underneath your wig. It will keep your wig in place. And rather than wearing a ponytail or anything with your hair, which can give you a headache, it's just better to just put a net on underneath. Getting down to the makeup. I guess everybody wants to know immediately how the eyebrows are done.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we actually can thank everybody in the trans community, because as I was saying earlier, I'm a licensed makeup artist here, or I was many, many moons ago. And that's actually something that we got from the trans community. They do wonderful, and the drag community. And that is that you just go and buy some lovely Yoo-hoo glue. And I know you're thinking, oh my God, Yoo-hoo glue? Yeah, that's what you use. And you put it on, I like using the color changer Yoo-hoo glue. So that would be the one that starts out purple. And when it's fully dried, it comes out clear. So you just want to indicate about half of your eyebrow, and you want to put on one coat. Then you want to take an eyebrow brush, and you want to just secure the hair down so that it's flat. You might want to add 2 or 3 more coats of Yoo-hoo glue, but please make sure that you take time to allow each coat to dry.
Yeah. Wow. I imagine that would get gummy after a while if you didn't.
Yeah, and not only that, it'll be lumpy and bumpy.
Ooh.
And you don't want lumpy and bumpy. And then basically after that, you can use I just use a liquid foundation, and then I mix it with the powder, and I just do it in layers to completely disappear the eyebrow. And then I use just a little stubby mascara applicator, and I brush on the eyebrow and fill it in.
That is so cool.
So it's not hard to do. It takes almost no time at all. You don't have to be an expert.
Well, that's good, because I'm definitely not.
Yeah, it's actually super easy, everyone. Men and women can do this. Like I said, you just want to do about half of the eyebrow, and you just want to make sure that you put that first coat on and make sure that the hair is flat. And then after that, you want to just keep adding, 1 or 2 layers until it sort of feels like, that you can't really see it, and you sort of have to take a second look to see if it's there. And then that's when you can go ahead and start applying makeup, and just use regular makeup. Okay. I wouldn't use acrylic paint or anything like that, because once you start perspiring, it'll just flake off.
Well, and Captain April Robert in the comment section said, define Yoo-hoo glue. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's called Elmer's glue, I believe, in the U.S.
No, it's not. I think I have some.
Oh, cool.
It is the stick glue that you get that you crank up, and
it's
it's yellow. Stick. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But there's a name brand, and it's called Yoo-hoo, and it's pretty much what all of us use. So it's a U-HU. Yoo-hoo.
Okay.
I think I have some in my case, but I don't want to go off camera. But yeah, so it's yellow. You can get it at Staples. And I highly recommend the color changer variety, so that you're not sort of guessing whether or not it's dry.
Awesome. Oh yeah, that's actually really smart to do the color change.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of that. Wow.
Yeah. And so that's
like that purple skin for a second.
Yeah. And that's just it, really. You can really do anything afterwards, however you want to dress up. You can wear robes. You can, buy a Starfleet uniform, and you can do, any version of Star Trek thereafter. Vulcanian.
Wow.
You're Vulcanian.
Very impressive. Now. I actually feel like we could do a stream just talking to you about this, Raquel.
Oh my gosh!
I don't mind. To be perfectly honest with you, I get a massive charge out of being able to go to these conventions and be able to see other Trekkies there, and to see other people cosplaying.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it adds a sense of magic. My daughter paid for me to go to a VIP meet and greet in Calgary, and Jonathan Frakes and Garrett Wang and
wow.
I've met several people from the original series and the next gen, and I do have to tell you that walking into that room and seeing everybody dressed up, the camaraderie is just amazing, you guys.
Mm-hmm.
To see another person dressed up, it's like, yeah, my crew's here, my family's here, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Camaraderie, absolutely.
Well, the
Yeah.
best thing is you can do either the most expensive cosplay ever, or you could just buy a pair of knockoff Vulcaneers and you're treated the same way.
It's the thought that counts. It
Mhm.
really is.
So I want to move on because there's two of you who are doing cosplaying. I want to ask Katie, first of all, how did you get the idea to do this stream, the forecast, the fandom forecast?
Just real quick, gotta say goodbye. I gotta leave the house. I got a thing that I
Oh, that's
I'm
right.
in a
Yeah,
choir.
Rose.
I have to leave and drive
nice
my son to rehearsal.
Rose, thank you so much for coming.
Yeah.
Thank you so
I'm
much
putting-
for having me.
Nice meeting you, Rose.
It was lovely meeting you.
Hey,
I look,
Rose.
if I get invited to do this again, I look forward to it.
Absolutely. We'll have you back, Rose.
All right.
Drive safely. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Yep.
I look forward to
care.
watching the replay and hearing what you guys are talking about next. I
Awesome.
very much
We'll
look
be
forward
talking
to
about you. I'm just kidding.
Hey,
it. And I saw your comment, Philip Gaming. I know where Chekhov was and was not in the first season. Later, neighbors. It was lovely meeting you.
Bye.
hey, PJ, before you go on, I had a quick question for Raquel.
Yeah.
So, Raquel, have you messed around with doing like some like makeup jobs like outside of the realm of Star Trek? Like ever done any like horror effects makeup or anything like that?
I did do a little bit of that because, like I said, I'm a licensed makeup artist here. And you actually have to take a provincial exam where you do different types of
Oh,
makeup
cool.
here. So I mostly did just like regular ladies' makeup because it's actually really difficult to do. They take a magnifying glass and they check your eyeliner and mascara. So that's actually super difficult
Wow.
to do. And then, of course, yeah, you do just naturally start to transition into that other stuff. So very early on, I got pretty interested in doing open wounds and things like that.
Yeah, it's funny. People don't realize that you can do some intricate things with that sort of makeup. With combined with the use of prosthetics, and if you have like the right like stage blood or something like that, or even the coloring to make it look like an aged scar or anything like that. Because I worked 13 years in a haunted attraction. That's why I asked you the question. And I learned a little bit about makeup behind the scenes. And it was always fascinating to me, just the amount of things available to people to really sort of bring authenticity when you're
Did you have a costume, Drew?
I didn't. I know like like if we were short like a makeup person, we were just one of those like mom and pop haunted attractions. So it was like all hands on deck. So there would be times, usually my forte was sort of like training, some of the younger volunteers, as far as the acting side of it went, and like helping them block scenes and things like that, and kind of know what it's like to character act. But I had to sometimes get pulled into makeup room and they're like, hey, we need so-and-so, with this sort of look quick. And you kind of got to work on the fly with what you got. And thankfully we had a lot of things at our disposal, but there were a lot of times that I kind of got thrust into it. But yeah, it's awesome because Raquel's wealth of knowledge is great. But yeah, I had some experiences with it, Raquel, is why I asked you the question.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that. Yeah, that's a very interesting experience. I've never actually worked on set. So yeah, that's that can be frightening, because I mean, you don't really have time. There's no room for mistakes. You're working with different types of skin and different people who are capable of withstanding prosthetics, and some who get super itchy or super claustrophobic. So realizing that that's an element of cosplay, and of course of theatrical production for any purpose, film or live. Yeah, it's doing it for real in person that's an electric atmosphere where you really have to do it, right?
Well, sure, especially if you're like, a community haunted attraction. You've got a paying public coming, you've got groups coming through, your haunted house, and you want to put on a good show, and you want it to be, an authentic experience for them. Like, because if you have a lame haunted house, people are going to go back to their friends and be like, don't go to that place. It was lame. It stunk. So yeah, we went all out as much as we could, and like I said, there was a lot of things I learned. Like, I learned those prosthetics, you probably, what do they call them? Woochies. Those things are your friend. They are awesome.
Yes.
So listen, I just saw the picture Raquel sent me. Wow. That is amazing. I'm going to post it after. So Katie, why don't you tell us first why, how the fandom forecast came to be, and how did you become the Starfleet meteorologist? And then we'll put up Raquel's picture.
Well, it's hilarious how this happened, because I didn't ever intend to make this kind of like a brand thing for me. It started with DuckTales because the theme song has "Life is like a hurricane," and I just kind of joked to myself, like, what if they actually had a meteorologist, because they have a news reporter? And I thought, well, wait, their new season's coming on. It's a cartoon, so I can get a background. I can make this into a thing. And so I made a mini fandom forecast, which I haven't posted onto my page yet. I really should, for DuckTales. And then from there, I was like, wait a second. I think a new Pokemon game's coming out. I could do one for that. And then I thought, you know what, there's a Star Wars movie coming out. I'll do that. And when that one took off, I was like, oh, if I did this with Star Trek, it would be insane. And so when I started with the fandom forecast, it started out with like maybe putting a day's research in. But with the Star Trek one, I put so many hours into making sure that canonically it was correct. I was messaging friends back and forth. I was like, they use Celsius or Kelvin. Which one should I use, timing-wise? Even the Stardate 46379.1, that is ingrained in my mind now. That's the first episode of Deep Space Nine Emissary, when TNG and DS9 episodes met. And that's why I could still use the TNG uniform. But yeah, so I started doing the research for it. Then I started making the graphics, and it's incredibly hard to find high quality Starfleet graphics. And I built all the forecasts and everything from hand. And when I posted it, and I got such a great response, I mean, I think Jerry Ryan, Brent Spiner, Star Trek CBS. Yeah, wow. I know. I freaked out. And I also freaked out when Mark Hamill commented on my Star Wars one.
Yeah, I mean,
it was wild.
These are way awesome.
Oh yeah, so I'm making this kind of my brand now, because I've not gotten a single negative response, and it's just been so positive, and I love doing it and putting a smile on people's faces. And so my next one, which is coming out in 27 minutes, is a Survivor one. And I am really hoping that maybe that gets me onto the TV show Survivor. And then we'll see what other ones I do.
Wow.
Look at you.
Yeah, but I'd probably die if I were on Survivor, but because I don't eat coconut or fish or bananas or any of that, and it'll be fine. And I'm a germaphobe, so I'm really gonna struggle. But I want to be on it.
Tell them you want to be on during hurricane season.
Oh yeah. Well, they had to evacuate one of the recent seasons because a hurricane hit, and I was like, oh, I know which hurricane you're talking about, and this and that. It's so geeky, but that's who I am. I'm the geeky weather science space nerd.
Well, you're not supposed to say good luck, so I'm just gonna say break a leg. Like
I probably will. Genuinely, I am very accident prone.
Yeah. You know, you don't actually break your leg. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Kill it. girl. You got to do it.
Absolutely. I hope
Everyone
so.
here is rooting for you.
Oh, thank you guys.
Absolutely. Let me just acknowledge in the chat. Hey DJ, how you doing? Thanks for joining us. Captain Robert April. Some people have been saying in the chat that Kirk Douglas had died, and then they're saying that it's a joke, it's a hoax. So thank God it looks like it's a hoax.
Well, I know the who was it? The executive producer of MASH passed away today.
Really?
The old TV show MASH, yeah.
Oh
So,
wow.
Yeah.
That was an amazing show.
I just
You're
finished
doing
binging it.
You were binging it. That's right.
Yeah. That's another one. I should do a forecast for MASH. I'm gonna have to do that now.
Are you gonna go with Hot Lips? Go with Hot Lips Houlihan, baby.
Oh, I could get a wig
Right?
and you will get credit for that suggestion.
You know,
Sexy raspberry lipstick. Like, just get some
yes.
lip liner and just rock it, baby.
I'll go to an army surplus store and get like the greens and yeah.
You know what, Katie? Just for me, you're gonna have to do a Halo forecast.
Hey, yeah, I'll have to look into like what it is canonically and what I can do for locations. If you have any suggestions, send them in. I am looking for them.
I love that you do research. I love that you just openly said, hey, before I even begin, I'm going to do my research.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's such an important part
Hey, Mr. Miles.
of cosplay is making sure that you get it right. And that, I doff my cap to you.
Thank you. With the Survivor one, I actually went to each of the locations that I forecasted for, and I found the forecast and forecasted for today. So it's an accurate forecast for these locations. So
wow,
there's a lot of work that goes into it just because I figure it's more fun to use real world stuff than just made up stuff. Even if it's in a made up world, use the real stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I wish I lived in your area and I could just turn on the TV every night and see you.
Yeah, I know.
Can I watch this online? Canadian needs to ask a question here.
Yeah.
Can I watch you online?
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm with Siouxland News KMEG 14 in Sioux City, Iowa. You'll get a lot of Sioux City weather, but you can also follow me on Twitter. I'm at weather_Katie. Or if you don't want Northwest Iowa information on the weather, you can just follow me at fandom_forecast.
And I'm going to put your YouTube channel up as well, Katie, in the chat.
Yeah. Yes, I do. I have a YouTube channel. I just made it. So well, revived it.
So everybody in the chat, please subscribe to Katie's So Many Fandoms YouTube channel, as well as Drew's. I'm going to put that in there. And let me just acknowledge that Drew also does a lot of cosplaying. He pretends to be a journalist every day. I'm just kidding.
Oh man!
Actually, he's a fabulous. Bounding into Comics just does some awesome work. So I was just kidding, Drew. I just wanted to acknowledge the work you and John and everybody else does at Bounding into Comics.
Oh, I know, man. You know, PJ, I love the fact that you give me hell because that means that you're a true buddy. So if you wasn't giving me hell, I would worry.
Absolutely. And let's see. Let me see if it's not coming up. Let me just put the picture that Raquel sent us, which is going to blow you guys away.
Because this is the one you asked me about, so I decided to send it to you.
That's great. No, that's fabulous. That's the more stuff we got to talk about, the better. Let me just see if I get this right.
Man, Katie, you made me geek out because I get to send you a whole bunch of like lore stuff about Halo. You don't know like how excited I am about that. I know it's like so nerdy of me to say, but
I'm adding it to the list. Yeah, I got that. I'm gonna do Lord of the Rings, Orville, Good Omens. If any of you have seen Good Omens, if you haven't, oh my gosh, you have? Yes, I'm cosplaying as Crowley at C2E2 in Chicago at the end of February. If any of you who are watching are going to C2E2, let me know. I'd love to meet you guys.
Oh wait!
Wow!
You know we got to do Battlestar Galactica one too.
Oh, I could totally do it. Like you could do a Stargate. I'm gonna do a Doctor Who. I just have to get the costume again.
Have you seen the Chilling Tales of Sabrina? You remember Sabrina the Teenage Witch?
Yeah.
And it was like campy, Archie kind of. Well, there's like a darker, like goth horror on Netflix right now called The Chilling Tales of Sabrina.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah, I heard that.
Please
shit's
go
crazy.
and mine that for some cosplay.
Cool.
good?
Oh,
Is it like what?
oh, what? Kate, I just thought of this too.
That is incredible.
The
That's
Witcher.
amazing.
The Witcher.
I'll have to look at the
Yeah,
Witcher
The
too.
Witcher.
There's so much I could do.
Yeah.
But I don't think I could ever beat that. That your Dorian
oh,
is.
yeah, that's
How did you
that's
get
on
the
point.
the
That
fabric
looks
for that?
amazing.
The fake chainmail?
Yeah. How did you can't find that at Goodwill?
No.
No. You have to order that online, or
Okay.
you just have to go to a costume store and say, "Look, I need several yards of this." Oh, but I mean, you can make it at home. And if anybody would like to make it at home, the first thing that you should do is go and buy some mesh.
Mhm.
And just a mesh t-shirt or a mesh blouse. You can get them online. You can get them through eBay. They're only $2 or $3.
Okay.
You can get them through Amazon. They're like $5. They probably want $15 shipping and handling, but they're only around $5. And you can take them out to your garage, lay it over top of a piece of cardboard. And then you can take some flat silver spray paint, and you can intermittently spray down the mesh. And then afterwards, you just put on a plain black turtleneck, and then put the mesh over top, and you're chain mailing all day, baby.
That's genius.
Yeah,
Wow.
that is an awesome
That never
Andorian.
even occurred to
How
me.
did you do
that's
the eyes
amazing.
so well? I mean, if you look closely, the eyes are just, I mean, you look like you're a different species.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
Yep.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I really appreciate that.
No,
Wow.
that's definitely probably the best Andorian I've ever seen.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you
That's
very
incredible.
much.
You got the makeup so even across the face. Like they couldn't even get that in the show.
Yeah.
That's wow.
So
Yeah.
I'm not, I don't think Drew asked this before, but have any fan films approached you about participating?
Oh
Nope.
yeah.
Are you open to that?
Yeah. I do some, like, I try to do as many appearances here in Canada as possible. We have something here called Rapid Fire Theater, and I want to give them a
Ooh.
plug because I know a whole bunch of those people who work for Rapid Fire Theater, Brad Fisher especially, and whenever they do their little Star Trek shows, which is improv, I make sure that I show up in full costume. Here in Edmonton, we the Edmonton Symphony Orchestra, plug, also does a wonderful symphony of the Star Trek music. Jay Chataway, everyone, and I show up in full cosplay for that as well.
Nice.
So
That's awesome.
that's
Wow.
that's basically all I'm doing right now. Whenever there's an event in Edmonton or Calgary, just basically in the province of Alberta, I make sure that I show up and I'm repping the TOS.
Nice.
There you go.
Wow. Hey
Have you
Philip,
ever,
are you in the chat, Philip? Are you seeing this? Philip is our in-house actor friend.
Really?
Yeah. He's been
Hi.
on the Orville couple, or at least once. He's been on once on the Orville. Yeah.
Oh, I would kill to just be an extra on that show. Because I've been an extra on the Chicago shows, PD, Fire, Med, and Justice before they got canceled. And I just want to do it on a sci-fi show. Don't even give me a speaking part. Just have me in the very back so you only see one half of my ear, maybe, and then that'd be great.
So Philip has been on a whole bunch of shows, and I can't even keep track of him, everything he's done. And the Orville episode he was on was the one, remember, where you had the where they had to downvote you or upvote you?
Yes,
Yes.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
The one that's terrifyingly close to reality.
terrifyingly close to reality. Yeah. We'll have them on again sometime.
Yeah.
This looks, wow. This looks so professional, Raquel. Thank you so much for sharing all this, Raquel.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, thank you.
Like I said, I think that a lot of people keep their secrets pretty close to their chest because they want to be able to have their trade secrets, and they've worked really hard to perfect their costuming and stuff. But the bottom line is, I'm Gen X Trekkie, and I love showing up anywhere to a public event and knowing that other people are going to be cosplaying, because when geeks are a little bit different than nerds, but I'll tell you something, when I show up and I'm in a room and half of them are geeks and half of them are nerds, I'm pretty happy. And one way of doing that is full force Star Trek. So, take these ideas. If you ever need my help or you need my advice or whatever, I'm happy to give it.
I will definitely be asking you a few questions for future cosplay.
Katie, we are totally going to make this happen for you.
Yes.
Wow. So what season are they in Survivor, by the way, Katie?
40. The 40th season.
40?
It's been 20 years. I was 3 when I first started watching, so it's been 20 years. And they're bringing back a bunch of fan favorites who have played their previous winners, and they're going to put all the winners against each other and see who can win more money. And I just really want to be on there someday, because how cool would that be? But no, I'm actually for the series, or the season finale, season premiere is next week Wednesday, but they're doing a recap of all the past Survivor seasons tonight at like 7:00 Central Time. So if any of you even saw one season, that'd be a great show to catch up on and start back up, because you'll have to watch when I'm on. Confidence. Maybe if you're extremely confident, it'll work, right?
Absolutely. Let me ask you guys the next question. Raquel, who's your favorite character on the Orville?
I don't really have a favorite character. I think that Tala is really cool right now, because I think that I think it's really cool to have a woman who you would sort of, your knee-jerk reaction would be to sort of think of her as kind of a villain, but she's actually this, actually she's not. She's just a really super tough girl with lots of experience, and she's taking care of business. I mean, the glove with the krill. I mean, that was Nurse Ratched straight out of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Oh my god!
So yeah, I think that she's pretty sensational. But I like the whole show, to be perfectly honest with you. I think it's well written. I think that the spirit behind it, the ethos behind it, is just absolutely wonderful. I think it's good for people. I think it's good for people to have hope again on TV. And I love it. The adventures, they're just terrific. And let's talk about the CGI on the show. Can we?
Oh my gosh.
I mean, the war. I mean, it's just crazy. Just critics hate this show, and I have no idea why, because it's perfect for me in every way. I'm even accepting of the humor. I like the show that much.
I think it was when it first came out. I looked it up on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm just looking it up right now. Yeah, the fan audience reaction is 94%. The critics is 65%. When it first came out, I think it was at 13%. And it's just, I don't know what the big gap is, but I trust the fans on this one. It's so good.
Yeah.
Well, that's how you got to read Rotten Tomatoes now.
Yeah.
You trust the fan stuff. Forget the critic stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I'm not sure I really trust Rotten Tomatoes anymore anyways. I've seen some stuff online that makes me go, huh? What do you mean?
Mm-hmm. I trust Twitter.
Don't you long for simpler times? Like, I don't know if maybe you ladies are too young to remember Siskel and Ebert, but
yep.
No clue.
Thumbs up
I
or
do
thumbs
know
down.
Siskel and Ebert, and Welcome to the Balcony, I think it was. Yeah, Balcony. Yeah.
It was,
on the base.
And the second. Yeah.
At the movies with Siskel and Ebert.
Yeah, at the movies. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was what is it? Hour-long show? Half-hour long?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Huh.
Yeah. And those were great reviews.
Mm-hmm.
Those were
I loved it.
because
Yeah,
they
it
were
was
all
nice
so
to listen to.
tempered, right? They
Mhm.
and unless you were truly a bag of flaming dog poop, you got some good and some bad out of your review. So people could decide for themselves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was back when critics were real critics. So
Yeah.
True.
now they're people that pass for critics. They're not
I'm
really. real
I'm
critics.
just putting this up again because Axonar Comics. Hey Trey, just joined us. Trey, whenever you guys need an Andorian, you or Alec needs an Andorian for one of his
Oh yeah.
Axonar films. You got Raquel right here.
Oh, that's very kind of you, PJ. Thank you.
Trey is awesome. Hey, guys, subscribe to Axonar Comics. Trey had on JG the other night after we did, and it was just awesome because between both nights we just got so much. And thanks for doing that, Trey, because we got so much from that second interview you did. It was so well put together, Trey, of JG. So go to check out the interview that Axonar Comics did with JG Hertzler with General Martok.
Yeah,
Sweet. I'll check that out.
I watched part of it. I thought it was really cool. It was just great
It was
to watch
super fun
him
to talk to.
in his straw hat.
Oh yeah, we had a
He was
blast
wearing a
with that.
straw hat, just tipping his straw hat up and speaking in his
Howdy.
wonderful gravelly voice, and you're just it's great. I mean, and how wonderful for these alums to show the fandom so much respect and so much dignity by showing up and saying, hey, you know what? Let's do some rapid fire. What are your questions? Let's
Mhm.
talk. These people are truly special people, right?
Yeah, there's a lot.
Oh, yeah.
There's definitely a lot of cool celebrities out there. There really is. And when they show love back to the fans like that's what it's all about. It just makes you happy to be a fan
Mhm.
when you see people take the time to do that.
Agreed.
Axonar says, PJ, have Raquel email Alec with that.
Oh,
So
wow.
we will. We'll do that. We'll do
Well,
that,
that's
Trey.
very kind of you.
Do it.
I
Do
sent
it.
the full body to you so that Katie could see what the chainmail looks like. So it's on Twitter. I sent it to you through
Yeah.
private message, and
Okay.
just so she can get an idea of what it looks like to put that men's mesh top over top of the turtleneck.
Yeah. Because I think Adam Savage from Mythbusters, he posted a video on his page about foam chainmail that you can make out of just foam, craft foam. And that seemed like something interesting, but it'd be so much easier to do a mesh shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh
See,
my gosh.
I like
This is-
cosplaying, but I cheap cosplay.
And keep that in mind too if you ever want to do the original series Romulans, because the same thing can be
yeah.
achieved only using a goldy sort of bronzy paint. So always tuck that in your pocket and keep that idea, because whenever you have to do that, especially for The Witcher, because it's great when you walk by the steampunk booths at the con and they have real chainmail. But let's face it, if you're going on Survivor and you don't eat rats, you're already gonna weigh, like a buck. So
Yeah.
you don't need to
Exactly.
be carrying around all that chainmail, because
Yeah.
you'll literally lose 60 pounds just in a 2-hour
Gosh,
con, right?
Raquel,
So,
so
yeah.
I can share this picture?
Oh yeah, certainly. Go
Yeah.
ahead. Yeah.
It's unbelievable. You look like you should be standing next to Shran. Honest, on
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Enterprise
very
or something.
kind of you.
I'm
let
so
me
excited for this. What?
That looks spot on. That is so
So
spot on.
Holy
Thank you.
So good.
I wish I had have known that we were going to move to I wish I knew more about Katie and that we were going to be talking about cosplay so much, because I really would have brought my makeup kit upstairs and I would have shared some of my favorite products and I would have helped you all.
Well, let's do this. Why don't we
can
have
do
both of you back for just a cosplay stream at some point?
Okay,
Heck yes.
Yes.
I would love that.
Absolutely.
And
And you guys can take Q&A from the audience on give advice and stuff.
yeah,
Oh, heck yeah.
yeah.
You'll
I mean, it would be
you'll
a
cover
pleasure if
the
you guys would do that. Yeah.
you'll cover the awesome, professional, incredible looking cosplay, and I'll cover the kind that you get from Goodwill.
See that, Axonar? See that, Axonar?
No, your cosplay is great.
Trey says,
Katie.
wow.
And I also love the fact that you're bringing so much attention to the cosplay community by showing that, I mean, you have a really serious and intellectual job. And instead of, horsing around like most meteorologists, you've just decided that you're going to shine a little light on the cosplay community, and you're going to have some fun with different people's fandoms. I mean, what you're doing is super important, whether you're getting that at Goodwill or, wherever. That doesn't matter. It really doesn't.
Oh,
Yeah,
well, thank you.
Let me just add, Katie. Yeah, actually, I do think you're doing a public service. I think Raquel's right, because you're also letting people be like feel free. You're giving people an example how to feel free to be expressive of themselves and not be bottled up. And that is really important what you're doing.
Oh, well, thank
Well,
you
thank you.
guys.
Nerds are fun too.
They
Nerds
are.
are fun too.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. No, from where I was, say 8 years ago to now, I'm like totally different when it comes to being the most outgoing person. I couldn't even get on stage for a band performance 8 years ago. And now I'm doing this. And I think it's because there's a switch in my brain that just kind of flicked on that said, wait a second, if I feel crummy, if someone went up there and was taking the show and like showing how much fun they were having, I would be fine sliding into the background. And I'm hoping that I can do something like that with my fandom forecast. Like, I'll be the biggest geek in the room, and other people will be like, oh, I'm not geeky compared to that, so I can post my little picture of my cosplay or something, and then it springboards and I create more and more people who are more out there and energetic. And I just, I hope people enjoy it. I have a lot of fun with it, and I like making people smile. So
Well,
thank you guys.
Today.
Yeah,
I'm
it's awesome.
I'm totally in, and I know a
Aw.
lot of our viewers are totally in as well.
Oh, well, thank you.
Maybe Bounding into Comics should do an article on this amazing cosplay. Hint.
Oh, they should.
Yeah, I see a cosplay of the day story coming pretty soon.
Heck yes.
You know how much I love Bounding into Comics? If you saw my my Twitter's private, but everyone on there knows that I'm always retweeting your articles. I love them.
Well, thank you, Raquel.
It's great. They're well written.
Yeah,
I like
amazing.
the fact that they're very well researched. I mean, you've got everything that a person needs to know, and you have good sources. And yeah, I love your work. I wasn't here when you got introduced or drawn in on the channel because I was having some technical difficulties. But I tip my hat to you. I fully endorse Bounding into Comics. I love it.
Well, it was funny. Like, quick story how I actually got involved with it. It was so I was just like you, Raquel, and this was back like 7-8 months ago. I DM'd our esteemed editor-in-chief, my boss John Trent, on Twitter, and was giving him a compliment on the site and on the articles, like you. And I said, hey, if you have a spot open for a contributor, let me know, because I've had a little bit of experience in writing, but, journalism has always intrigued me. Not 5 minutes goes by and he reaches back out to me and he's like, he and I talked for a bit and he said, well, I'm willing to give you a shot. And, since then, we haven't looked back, and it's become like my job. So
that's terrific, and what a great story! You followed your instincts, and then he followed his instincts, and then together you guys made something really cool. So congratulations, and you have an audience. We like your work.
Yeah, and I love doing it because it's something I'm really passionate about. Because just like everybody else, we're all fans of some fandom somewhere, and to get to cover all of this stuff and to just present it in a good way that's not like the typical sites that always like shill for the media companies and shill for the big game companies and stuff like that. We just tell it like it is, and people respect that. And if you can have that type of real journalism, then yeah, you're going to have a relationship with your readers. And that's what makes me proud to be associated with them.
It's sort of like a throwback to investigative journalism, because instead of pulling something off of the broadcast news feed, and instead of pulling a story that's been handed to you, you sort of see the action on social media, and you say to yourself, you know what, there's a story here.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go and research it and make something really great out of it. And then everyone, gets to enjoy it, because it's the water cooler talk. And that's what we want, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And you guys have published some stories that nobody touches. And then what's funny is that the bigger guys will pick you up after you guys have broken the story.
Agreed.
Yeah. Well, and we also, we're not afraid to talk from a place of common sense, PJ. We're not afraid to tackle subjects that, make other people uncomfortable or don't fit the narrative. We just tell it like it is. And that's why, like I said, a lot of people respect it. And so I'm happy with that. And thank you so much for your kind words, Raquel. I mean, it means a lot to us to have you as a fan and as a reader.
Thank you for all your hard work. It's really a pleasure.
Before I take this picture down, guys, I just wanted to blow up the picture a little bit. Look at the antennas. Look at the work on that.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, God, the detail.
Oh, I have something that you should know there. Something that my husband taught me. And like I told you before, my husband is a machinist. He does programming engineering, but he has also won industrial arts awards and was a part of the art community here in my province. Those antennae are made out of paper clay. Now, something very important here. Usually paper clay is baked. My husband thought that they would become too brittle if they were baked. So those were dried.
Nice.
Oh,
Okay, so if you're working with paper clay, folks, do not feel beholden to follow the directions on the package and bake them. They will turn a little bit, they'll change color a little bit and all that. And people think that it hardens them and stuff, but my husband studied metallurgy and all that kind of stuff. So I trusted him, and you know what? He was totally right. Baking it was not necessary.
The texture, it's just a texture and authenticity in the look. I like that because it's a lot different than, because there's a lot of people that would have just said, well, I'll just use maybe some PVC or something here. But the extra detail is just, wow, that's amazing.
I want to
welcome cartoonist George. Well, he's more than a cartoonist. George Peter Gatsis. Hey, George. Any comments on this amazing cosplay?
Yeah, greetings, everybody. Greetings. Yeah, I do have a couple questions. One is all this makeup and stuff. What is the appropriate age to do the makeup? Is there like something regarding the skin, metabolicism as children grow up and stuff like that you don't do this particular makeup on?
I think that it can be any age. The thing is that you'll see on even on the real Star Trek, you'll see that the makeup crumbles quite a bit and stuff like that. That has a lot to do with studio lights. It also has to do with the person's the texture of their skin and what they're prone to. Do they have nice oily skin? Do you have a really good base? Or, does this person have super dry skin? Does this person have something like, seborrhea or acne? So it's really about starting with a base and then reacting to that base. grease makeup may be good for one person, whereas water-based makeup might be better for another person. It's really about identifying the color and then making the color work for whatever condition that person's skin is in, instead of just buying something that somebody recommends and slapping it on your face and going, oh, why didn't that work out? I think it's really super important to, number one, protect your skin, and number two, answer to your skin, because you should be very comfortable in makeup that's applied to your face.
Do you have some sort of pre-test before, whenever you go and see a particular customer, to do some sort of testing on their skin before you actually start applying your unique techniques?
No. Earlier on in the cast, I admitted that when I was very young, my sister dragged me to aesthetics school. So I'm a licensed makeup artist, but I'm also an esthetician. So when I see someone's skin, I just sort of make a judgment call on what would be the best course of action for that person's skin. For you yourself, I mean, it's very easy for you to just go and have a facial somewhere. You could also go to a large department store and just have the esthetician who's applying makeup in the beauty department or whatever have you, just tell you a little bit about your skin. And then when you go to buy your products, having a little consultation. A lot of these places that are selling theater makeup, they really know their stuff, and they can really advise you as to the best course of action for application and product.
Nice, very nice. Now, I'm curious. Are you in Ontario?
No, I'm in Alberta.
Okay. I used to manage a pizza store back in my high school days.
Oh, pizza is so good. I was born in Ontario. Oh, pizza.
Yes, and literally down the street from store number 5 at Victoria Park in Danforth, there was an entire building of hairstylists and makeup artists that were going through school and stuff like that. And every lunchtime, they would come to get their slice and a Coke, or a slice and a juice or whatever. But they would come with, half makeup jobs in progress, hair still in progress and stuff like that. And it was a sight to behold.
Yeah, I mean, people really work on their craft. I think laws differ from country to country and from state to state and province to province. So, I mean, I think that there's sometimes people sort of think that it could take a weekend to learn this kind of thing. And while that's really great, and I definitely support workshops, especially for cosplay, they're absolutely wonderful. They're the cheat sheets to get you to it. Yeah, there are people who take this quite seriously. I myself attended the Alberta Academy of Aesthetics, and each one of the things that I studied there was a diploma that required final examination and adjudication and so on and so forth. So yeah, some people take it really super seriously, and the results can be wonderful.
I want to welcome Alicia, AVP. Alicia, any comments on this amazing cosplay, my friend?
That is really, really cool. So how did you exactly do this exactly? I mean, did you create the makeup yourself? Did you get tutorials? What inspired you exactly to create this kind of character exactly?
I'm a Star Trek fan. I have been since the 1970s, the mid 1970s. And just from my education, what I learned in school, and just I just started putting the costume together. It usually takes me between a year to 2 years to put a costume together. So I have the sort of Wrath of Khan, the genetic mutants, but of course the Wrath of Khan, the original series era of it. I've been developing an Elia probe costume for over a year. This one took me, I don't know, maybe about a year and a half. The Vulcan one, it was a very short period of time because it's almost nothing. So maybe 2 or 3 months.
Gotcha. Yeah, because I do cosplay myself, but I don't do it with the makeup and stuff like that. I typically just do it with the costumes that I already have. And it's basically assembling like a simple thing as a shirt and basically something like a badge that you print it off the internet and then just say, you know what, here we go, bada bing, bada boom. There you go, cosplay.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is that I think a lot of people see really high level cosplay and they get overwhelmed and they're just like, no, I can't do that. I suggest being kind of more like Katie. I love Katie's tenacity and the fact that Katie sees this as a journey. She goes and she picks up the different items and she's improving the costumes each time. Her confidence in cosplay and even in her job is growing with every attempt she makes. So I mean, it's okay to inch into cosplay. You don't wake up one day with a perfect Andorian costume. You have to really build on it and take your time. Look at Katie.
Yeah,
Katie's
well,
doing everything.
I was gonna
Katie
say-
is not scared.
I'm gonna grab something out of my closet to show you guys, and it'll
Please.
show you. Yeah, it's literally a skeleton in my closet. Just a second.
Literally a
Okay,
skeleton.
we'll just go in. What is the quickest makeup job you have done, and the longest makeup job you have done, and why?
Okay, the quickest makeup job I have ever done is my Vulcan cosplay. The reason why it's super easy is because you just have to conceal your eyebrows and throw on some pre-made prosthetic ears. The most difficult costume that I have ever done is the one that I'm currently working on, which is the Ilia probe. As many of you know, Parasis shaved her head for the original series. I am not going to shave my head, and
Good
so
choice.
and so the bald cap has been a challenge. I also absolutely love my husband. He's brilliant. He is a brilliant machinist, and I came to him with an idea, and I found a light from Japan. And he literally took this to work and said, you know what? I'm going to make her communicator for her. And so he took the jewel that lit up and made it. And so it's the hardest because it has to look natural. It's the hardest because it was very difficult to have the shoes made to the specifications. And it's very difficult to do a bald cap with my mop. And also details. I'm really super fastidious and meticulous with details. So machining, getting my husband to machine the actual probe insert that indicates Ilia has changed into a probe was really important for me as well. So that's the hardest one, and those are the reasons why.
Go ahead, Katie.
Did I do that?
Okay.
Did I answer
I was gonna
everything?
say, I gotta move my cat out of the way.
Thank you, Raquel.
There we go. He keeps trying to climb in this. No. So this is one of my cosplays that I'm planning on doing. Well, I've done this several times, but I'm doing a fandom forecast for is the Lego movie, and I have created a full Lego costume. This is just the head. I have made a
No
full
way.
scale Lego costume.
No way, Katie.
Nice.
This is there's my cat.
That is
Radar, you can't be in this, okay?
Radar. Of
Radar,
course, the
that's
meteorologist names her cat Radar. Everybody, come on, everybody.
He is a rascal. But
That is amazing.
thank you. I took the original patent for Lego, the Lego minifigure, and I scaled. Oh my gosh, she just jumped in the head. Anyway, I took the original patent and I scaled it from millimeters up to my 5'6" frame. And then I went to a cardboard factory and got a bunch of cardboard, and the entire costume was free. And it just took some time to cut it and make it to scale.
Yeah.
Wow.
Show
It's
that
super easy.
face again, because I really like the fact that, like, when you're talking about of recreating something like that, you really are talking about scale and the distance between certain elements. I mean, look at how accurate this is. This is terrific.
It's amazing, Katie. Katie, do the rest of the interview like that.
Oh, I totally could. Is there an echo? I will
Recording from inside Legoland.
Yeah,
beautiful.
Unbelievable. Wow.
No
Oh,
one
we
can
got-
sneeze on me in here.
Yeah.
We
Lego
definitely
Katie.
to have you guys back for a for just a cosplay stream. That's amazing.
Oh, heck yes.
I'm in.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
totally in. Oh,
That is
there it goes.
amazing. Wow.
Yeah, it was funny.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
It was funny, Raquel. I was gonna tell you when I got pressed into duty doing makeup at the haunted house. It was funny because they used to call me Captain Corpse Paint because a lot of the stuff that I would do, would be like corpse paint jobs for people. So I got stuck with the name Captain Corpse Paint for a while.
Nice.
So can I call you Corky?
Yeah, sure.
Corky Taylor? Our roving reporter, Corky Taylor? Let's hope that doesn't stick. And if it does, I fully apologize.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, man.
Love
I'm
it.
going to be blushing all over the place now.
Good.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Raquel, you're amazing, and your makeup work is amazing. It's
Oh, thank
inspiring.
Well, thank you very much. I feel the same way about your work and about Katie's work. I think it's so important, the work you guys are doing, and huge fan. And yeah, I just, it's really terrific.
Oh, huge fan
Fandom
for
is
you.
very cool. You know what I mean? Fandom is so cool.
It is.
Yeah, well, we're fans of you. So.
No.
If you guys could see this right now, Radar got in the head, flipped it, and now he's walking around. So I just have a disembodied Lego head walking around my apartment.
You
Oh
need
my
to film that.
Your
need to film
cat and my cat would get along, Katie, because I have a cat named Gambit, and he's a big dude like your cat.
Oh, and now he's okay. He's just gonna.
Gambit. That's wonderful. You named your cat after a chess move?
No, actually, no. I named my cat because I got the inspiration to obviously the X-Men comics. So Gambit was one of my favorites. So I named him
Nice.
Gambit, and the kitten, the smaller cat that I have, I named Apollo after Apollo from Battlestar Galactica.
Very nice.
Nice. Not Apollo Creed.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's gonna be a reference.
Yeah, Alicia already knows my BSG craze fandom.
I do. I know a lot of different sci-fi. I grew up with sci-fi since the womb. I have no excuse.
Nice. Oh, there you are, PJ.
It's crazy.
Hello, PJ. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
I get a new Mac to resolve all my issues, and the Mac I got has this preemptive fan blowing so it doesn't get hot.
Mm-hmm.
and it's driving me nuts, and I had to turn it off for a second. Sorry.
You get it?
Oh, it's all good.
So I was like, oh, I might have to ask a question.
Go ahead. Ask your question, Katie.
I don't have any questions planned. I was just gonna go off of whatever anyone else was talking about.
Well,
I
have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
Where do you guys think season 3 is going to begin? Where do you think season 3 is going to start off for Orville?
Oh,
Who wants to take the first shot?
I think the optimist in me is really, really hoping that maybe there's a crossover with Star Trek and they just aren't saying anything, but that won't happen. No, I think they're going to pretty much pick up right where they left off. I don't think there'll be too much of a time gap. Maybe just enough to like show the impacts, but of the decision, I guess, Mirror Kelly made. And honestly, I'm a little worried about how it's going to affect the crew.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to, I agree. I don't think there's going to be a huge time jump.
Although they could easily.
No, I don't think it's going to be a huge time jump. It might be something like, I don't know, maybe Havina and her crew and see what's going on with them since the last time we saw them. Say, are they still fighting the Mocklins? Are the Mocklins still saying that want to pull away from the Union? That would be really cool to start out with them to say, hey, what's going on with them since we last saw them?
Sorry, everyone. I had to plug in.
Oh, no, it's all good.
It's all cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think it's too much of a time jump since we last left off with Mirror, Kelly, and everything like that. I was telling that to PJ last night. I don't think there's too much of a jump with it. It might be just little minor tweaks here and there.
And by the way, Raquel, glad you're not going to shave your head because you got awesome hair.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's a little scary.
So, Raquel, where do you think season 3 is going to start off? Do you want to chime in on that, or do you want to pass?
I sort of feel like I'm going to say something controversial, but I'm going to
Go
just
ahead.
fire
Ooh,
away
fun.
anyway.
Please do.
I think that I don't know. I'm not going to gauge what a good prognosticator I am, or poor for that matter. But I think Seth is going to take a serious turn here. I think we're going to have a lot less of boom boom, and I think that he's going to save that and savor that. And I think that the show will continue to tackle incredibly serious issues. And I hope he continues the good work. But I do think that that once on Hulu, things are going to change. I think that a lot less, the ribbing, and it will be a more serious humor, and I don't think it will be as frequent. But as far as serious issues go, I mean, look at season 1. I mean, wow! Like right out of the gate, he gave his ethos to us, and he said, you know what? I'm going to tackle every taboo subject no one will talk about, and I'm going to do it in a way where everyone's talking about it and nobody gets mega angry about it. So,
Yeah, I think that that's a good point that you brought up, Raquel. I think because when they move over to Hulu, I really think that they're going to step their game up as far as like trying to get up there and sort of fill that void along with the Expanse that they've been filling all along, but really kind of take things to the next level. So I think there's going to be a more serious tone as well. I kind of feel that.
yeah. And I like that, like when he did deal with these serious issues, gender reassignment, women in power, corrupted women in power and and things like this. I just think that he has a knack for handling these issues.
No way, Katie. What?
I just saw what you posted.
What I post? The Survivor.
The Survivor. Wow.
Yeah,
Oh my
that should have
God.
just gone up so I can put this on, and there we go. Well, one thing I didn't realize is because I use a green screen, that's a green cap. So if you look close enough, you'll actually see the land and the water on my maps actually come through.
Mm-hmm.
At one point, Africa was my head. So it's there, but it's not too noticeable. But yeah, no, go check it out, guys. It's one that I had a lot of fun with. I actually, the guys in the control room who were recording it, they were like, could you maybe not yell? I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm just so excited.
Yeah, is that on your YouTube channel or just on your Twitter?
Right now it's just on Twitter. I gotta upload it to YouTube.
I'm gonna post the link so you guys in the chat can check it out.
Sweet, thank you.
Great.
I'm probably gonna have to bounce in a second, PJ.
Oh wow, it's 6:20.
I have to do a little bit of writing, and then we've got a Bounding into Comics live stream tonight, I believe. So.
Oh wow.
Oh, awesome. Listen, I don't want to hold. We've been on for a while, guys. I don't want to hold you any further. I want to say, listen, we're going to be doing this Power Women Wednesday all the time, so you're all welcome back.
Thank you.
And it was lots of fun. And thank you. We lost a few people, so thank you, Drew and Alicia and George for jumping on with us. Raquel, it was awesome to meet you. Fascinating.
You are so cool.
You guys, thank you for having me, and it is so great to meet you all, and especially to meet Drew, the man behind the stories. And you guys have been so wonderful and so gracious. Thank you for having me. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah,
for
Raquel, you're
coming
an
on.
awesome person. It was really a pleasure meeting you. And, shoot me a follow on Twitter at Supreme Heretic, and we'll keep in touch for sure. And Katie, as always, I have a blast with you. You're my pal. So
This is always fun.
happy Weather Person's Day, because you deserve it. You are
Yeah.
Oh,
Happy
thank
Weather
you.
Person's Day.
you are the
Thank you,
best
guys.
weather person in the nation.
Oh,
And the
well, thank you.
coolest. I mean, and
Aw.
the coolest, right?
Mhm.
Thanks so much.
Absolutely
You
the
guys are
coolest.
always so much fun to talk to and so positive. I just love talking with you guys. You are so awesome. Yes. Mwah.
George,
me
it was
just-
cool hanging with you. Alicia, it was always cool being around you.
Let me just remind you guys, everybody in
Drew
the
is
chat.
awesome.
Let me just remind everybody that Stephanie Littlepage is putting the GoFundMe or PayPal link for Captain Robert to help him get that VA housing. So anybody can help, please do. And once again, thank you to Katie, Drew, Raquel, George, and Alicia. I've put links in the chat for everybody, and I'm going to put it on the video when we finish up. So thank you guys. Thank you so much. Thanks, guys.
Well,
Have
big
an
thank you
awesome
to
Thanks for
night.
you.
having me. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you,
PJ.
Bird of Prey, Captain Robert, Stephen, Stephanie Littlepage, Axinar, Trey, and everybody else who's been in here. Adega, Mr. Miles. Thank you, Adega, for wrenching and Steph for wrenching. Thank you, guys.